Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. Today we are going to present our assignment 1, Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control HIRARC in Industry. So this slide will present by me, Muhammad Iqbal, Muhammad Jafar As-Sadiq, Muhammad Izzat Aiman and Muhammad Faiz Hakim.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzat Aiman bin Zulkarnain. I will present you about abstract. The goal of research study is to indicate the meaning of danger identification, risk assessment, and risk control. It also demonstrate the application of HIRARC in the industry. This paper then indicates HIRARC goals. The following is shown by the researcher preparing and planning the beginning HIRARC things. In addition, it teaches us how in the maintenance process, HIRARC interface finding and recommendation for future proposal for the current process of HIRARC to make the process better. Thank you.
Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control HIRARC has become fundamental to the practice of planning, management and the operation of a business as a basic of risk management. The organizations that have carried out risk assessment at the workplace have not numerous changes in their working practice. Those who have already carried out risk assessment in their work have reported positive change in their working practice. They recognize substandard act and working conditions as they develop and take necessary corrective action. Legislation requires that this process should be systematic and be recorded so that the results are reliable and the analysis complete. The risk assessment process should be continued and should be regarded as one of exercise.
What is HIRARC and what is implement HIRARC? HIRARC in short form for Hazard Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control. HIRARC become fundamental to the practice of planning, management and operation of a business as a basic of management. The purpose of HIRARC: one is to identify all the factors that may cause injury to employees and others. Second, to consider what the changes are of that harm befalling on everyone in the circumstance of a particular case and that possible severity that could come from its risk. 3. To enable employees to plan, introduce, organize and monitor preventive measures to ensure that the risk is effectively under control at all the times. Planning of HIRARC activities. HIRARC activities shall be planned and conducted A. For solution, where hazard appear to pose significant threat, and uncertain whether existing controls are adequate before implementing corrective or preventive measures. B. By organizing intending to continuously improve management system. Process of HIRARC. Process of HIRARC requires 4 simple steps. First is classify work activities. 2. Identify hazard. 3. Conduct risk assessment, analyze and estimate risk from each hazard by calculating likelihood of occurrence and severity of hazard. 4. Decide if the risk is tolerance and apply control measure. The first step is classify work activities. Classify work activities is according with the similarities. For example, geographical and or physical area within premise, stage in product process, not too big, not too small, and define tasks. Second step is hazard identification. We can separate it into three hazards. First is health hazard. Health hazard is any that can cause illness to the individual. A health hazard may produce serious and immediate effect or may cause long-term problem. For example, noise, electric current, and others. B is safety hazard. A safety hazard is enforced enough to cause injury or damage to the property. For example, sleeping hazard, fire hazard, and others. C. Environment hazard. An environment hazard is a release to the environment that may cause harm or deleterious effect. For example, waste release in the river, dangerous particle release in the air, and others. Step 3 is to analyze and estimate risk. We can separate it into three. The first one is qualitative. Qualitative analysis uses words to describe the magnitude of potential severity and the likelihood that those severity will occur. This method uses expert knowledge and experience. Second is qualitative. Qualitative is analysis use numerical value for both severity and likelihood, using data for a variety of sources such as past accident experience and from scientific research. The last one is semi-quantitative. Semi-quantitative is objective is to produce a more expanded ranking scale that is usually achieved in qualitative analysis, not to suggest realistic value for risk, such as is attempted in qualitative analysis.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzat Aiman. I will present you about data from the reference. First, data is from International Policy and Research Development Division. This is occupational accident statistic by sector until December 2020. Reported to Dodge only. The second data is the case of fatal injuries in the construction sector and their cause. Thank you.
Integrate HIRARC into maintenance management process. Risk and maintenance. According to the Europe Agency for Safety and Health at Work, OSHA, regular maintenance has an important role in eliminating workplace hazards and providing safer and healthier working conditions. But lack of maintenance or inadequate maintenance can cause serious and deadly accidents or health problems. The deterioration of physical assets due to the lack of maintenance can clearly have significant health and safety consequences for an organization, including serious harm to building occupied by of exposure to various physical, chemical, and biological hazards. Loss of use of physical, etc. incidents is investigation and enforcement authority prohibitions. Actually, finance, loss, drop, potential health and safety execute HSE fees for investigation, prosecution, civil claims, and replacement of assets, production, interpret, and accident. Safety and safety during maintenance. While undertaking any of the previously mentioned maintenance regimes, health and safety must be given consideration and put into the overall maintenance operational planning. Factors to consider are the scope of the task, what needs to be done, and what its effect will be. Risk assessing to identify and analyze hazards. Risk control to adoption of safe systems of work, permit to work systems, and working in downtime. time and resource requirements to undertake maintenance safely, communication requirements between the various stakeholders, and last, competence and training requirements of those undertaking the activity and managing the work.
As a conclusion, hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control HIRARC has become fundamental to the practice of planning, management, and the operation of a business as basic of risk management. Based on this assignment, we know that the purpose of this guideline is to provide a systematic and objective approach to assessing hazard and their associated risks that will provide an objective measure of an identified hazard as well as provide a method to control the risk. It is one of the general duties as prescribed under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, Act 514 for the employer to provide a safe workplace to their employees and other related persons. My suggestion is that Occupational Safety and Health Department should always monitor the implementation of this HIRARC in all workplaces and impose fines on companies that do not comply with this HIRARC to ensure the safety of workers and other related persons. That's all from our group. Thank you so much.